Hello everyone, welcome back to Oculoverse. In our previous video, we covered the first 25 MCQs on retina anatomy and physiology, and today we are continuing our retina MCQ series with part 2. In this session, we will focus on important concepts like rods and cones, color vision, dark adaptations, phototransduction, visual acuity, and other high yield topics that are frequently asked in exams and viva. So, as always, try to answer each questions before I reveal the correct answer. So, grab your notebook, test your knowledge, and let's see how many questions you can answer correctly. So, let's get started. Okay, so question number 26. Which photoreceptor is responsible for night vision? Option A cone, option B bipolar cells, option C rod, and option D ganglion cell. We will wait for 5 seconds. Try to answer the question. So the correct answer is rod. Rods are specially designed to work in dim light conditions. That's why they are responsible for night vision, and they are very sensitive to light, but they cannot detect colors. So whenever you hear the term night vision, think of rods. So moving to the next question, question number 27. Which photoreceptor is mainly responsible for color vision? Option A rods, option B cones, option C bipolar cells, and option D ganglion cells. We will wait for 5 seconds. Try to answer the question. So the correct answer is option B cones, because the cones help us to see colors and find details, and they work best in bright light conditions. That's why reading, recognizing faces, and distinguishing colors depend mainly on the cone cells. So the next question, question number 28. Maximum concentration of cones is found in option A ora serrata, option B peripheral retina, option C fovea centralis, option D optic disc. We will wait for 5 seconds. So the correct answer is option C fovea centralis, because the fovea centralis is the point of sharpest vision in our eye, and it is packed with cones, which makes it perfect for detailed vision such as reading or looking at small objects. So moving to the next question, question number 29. The optic disc is also called option A yellow spot, option B blind spot, option C macula, and option D fovea. The correct answer is option B blind spot, because the optic disc is also called as blind spot because there are no rods or cones present there, and since photoreceptors are absent, any light falling on this area cannot be detected. Moving to the next question, question number 30. Which retinal cells gives rise to the optic nerve? Option A rods, option B cones, option C ganglion cells, and option D bipolar cells. We will wait for 5 seconds. So the correct answer is option C ganglion cells. The axons of ganglion cells come together at the optic disc and form the optic nerve, which carries visual information from the eye to the brain. Moving to the next question, question number 31. Which neurotransmitter is primarily released by photoreceptors? Option A acetylcholine, option B glutamate, option C dopamine, and option D gamma. So the correct answer is option B glutamate. The photoreceptors communicate with the next retinal neurons using glutamate, and it is the main neurotransmitter involved in the transferring visual signals within the retina. Moving to the next question, question number 32. The yellow colors of the macula is due to option A melanin, option B xanthophyll pigments, option C rhodopsin, and option D lipofuscin. So the correct answer is option B xanthophyll pigments. The macula contains a yellow pigment called xanthophyll, and this pigment helps filter harmful blue light and protects the retina. Moving to the next question, question number 33. Which retinal area provides maximum visual acuity? Option A peripheral retina, option B macula, option C foveola, and option D optic disc. So the correct answer is option C foveola. The foveola is the central part of the fovea and provides the sharpest vision in the entire retina, and this is where visual acuity is highest. Moving to the next question, question number 34. Which photoreceptor pigment is present in the rods? Option A photopsin, option B rhodopsin, option C melanin, and option D iodopsin. So the correct answer is option B rhodopsin. Rhodopsin is the visual pigment found in rods and it helps rods detect light, especially in the dark conditions. Moving to the next question, question number 35. Phototransduction occurs in option A bipolar cells, option B ganglion cells, option C photoreceptors, and option D Muller cells. So the correct answer is option C photoreceptors. Phototransduction simply means converting light into electrical signals, and this is important process starts inside the rods and cones. Moving to the next question, question number 36. The first synapse in the visual pathway occurs between option A bipolar and ganglion cells, option B photoreceptors and bipolar cells, option C ganglion and optic nerve, and option D cones and rods. So the correct answer is option B photoreceptors and bipolar cells. Once photoreceptors detect light, they pass the signal to bipolar cells and this forms the first synapse of the visual pathway. Moving to the next question, question number 37. The optic nerve is formed by A. Bipolar cells, B. Rods, option C. Ganglion cell axons, and option D. Muller cells. So the correct answer is option C. Ganglion cell axons. All ganglion cell axons gather together and exit the eye as the optic nerve and carrying visual information to the brain. Moving to the next question, question number 38. The physiological blind spot corresponds to option A fovea, option B macula, option C optic disc, and option D ora serrata. So the correct answer is option C optic disc. So the optic disc lack photoreceptors, so this area naturally creates a blind spot in our visual field. Moving to the next question, question number 39. Which retinal cells are responsible for lateral inhibition? Option A bipolar cells, option B ganglion cells, option C horizontal cells, and option D rods. So the correct answer is option C horizontal cells. The horizontal cell help sharpen the visual images by enhancing the contrast between neighboring photoreceptor cells. So moving to the next question, question number 40. The fovea contains predominantly option A rods only, option B cones only, option C bipolar cells only, and option D ganglion cells only. So the correct answer is option B, cones only. So since the fovea is responsible for detailed vision, it contains mainly cones which provide high resolution vision. So the moving to the next question, question number 41. Which retinal cells act as a second order neuron? Option A, photoreceptor. Option B, bipolar cells. Option C, ganglion cells. And option D, Muller cells. So the correct answer is option B, bipolar cells. Photoreceptors are first order neurons, bipolar cells are second order neurons, and ganglion cells are third order neurons. Moving to the next question, question number 42. Dark adaptation mainly depends on option A, cones, option B, rods, option C, ganglion cells, and option D, Muller cells. So the correct answer is option B, rods. When moving from bright light to darkness, rods gradually become more sensitive and help us adapt to dark environment. Moving to the next question, question number 43. Which vitamin is essential for rhodopsin formation? Option A, vitamin C, option B, vitamin D, option C, vitamin A, and option D, vitamin E. So the correct answer is option C, vitamin A. Vitamin A is required to produce rhodopsin. Without enough vitamin A, night vision become affected. So moving to the next question, question number 44. Deficiency of vitamin A commonly causes option A, cataract, option B, night blindness, option C, glaucoma, and option D, myopia. So the correct answer is option B, night blindness. So because of vitamin A is needed for rhodopsin production, deficiency often causes difficulty seeing in dim light, known as night blindness. So moving to the next question, question number 45. Which retinal region is richest in rods? Option A, fovea, option B, foveola, option C, peripheral retina, and option D, optic disc. So the correct answer is option B, peripheral retina. Rods are mainly concentrated in the peripheral retina, which helps detect movement and improves night vision. Moving to the next question, question number 47. Which retinal cells are absent at the optic disc? Option A, ganglion cells, option B, bipolar cells, option C, photoreceptors, and option D, Muller cells. So the correct answer is option C, photoreceptors. Since rods and cones are absent at the optic disc, it acts as a physiological blind spot. Okay, so moving to the next question, question number 48. Visual signals leave the eye through option A, retina, option B, choroid, option C, optic nerve, and option D, sclera. So the correct answer is option C, optic nerve. After processing inside the retina, visual information leaves the eye through the optic nerve and travels towards the brain. So, moving to the next question, question number 49. Which retinal cells have the richest number? Option A, ganglion cells, option B, bipolar cells, option C, rods, and option D, cones. So, the correct answer is option C, rods. Rods are far more numerous than cones because they are needed for wide field and low light vision. Moving to the next question, question number 50. Which structure connects the eye to the brain? Option A, retina. Option B, optic nerve. Option C, macula. And option D, lens. So the correct answer is option B, optic nerve. The optic nerve is like a communication cable between the eye and brain, carrying all visual information for interpretation. So let's have a quick recap. First is rods are responsible for night vision, while cones are responsible for color vision and sharp vision. Second is the fovea centralis contains the maximum concentration of cones and provides the highest visual acuity. Third is the optic disc is called the blind spot because it does not contain photoreceptors. Fourth is rhodopsin is the visual pigment present in the rods and is essential for vision in dim light. Fifth is vitamin A is necessary for rhodopsin formation and its deficiency can lead to night blindness. And sixth is ganglion cell axons form the optic nerve which carries visual information from the eye to the brain. Okay, so that's all for our Retina MCQ series. I hope these MCQs and explanation help you revise the Retina in the simple and effective way. Before we leave, let me know in the comments how many questions you answered correctly and which questions you found the most challenging. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Oculovers. And don't miss our next series where we will be discussing disease of retina, so important MCQs and detailed explanations that are frequently asked in exams, Viva and competitive tests. So thank you so much for watching the video. Keep learning, keep growing, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you and take care.